I would like to start by a quote that says, "Remember to celebrate milestones as you prepare for road ahead." It is said none other than by great Nelson Mandela. Dear Toastmasters and esteemed guests, a very good afternoon to you all.
Good afternoon.
I am Ramesh Rajendran, your Sergeant at Arms for this Medley 600 meeting. I am privileged to welcome you all to this historic meeting of Medley 600 by Medley Toastmasters Club. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in great self-confidence and professional growth. In every Toastmasters meeting, we follow these practices. That is, first, if you're not the speaker, please kindly put yourself on mute. When you're not moving, please switch off your camera to avoid distractions. Please avoid taboo topics such as sex, religion, and politics. And four, please attend the meeting in formal attire. With this, I would love to welcome our presiding officer for this club, DTM Thomas Abraham, the club president. He is a former senior vice president of corporate communications with Hinduja Group and a former district 82 PR manager. A proud medallion since January 2015, claiming his highest attendance among the club mates since then. With this, I would like to present the stage to our Mr. President, DTM Thomas Abraham. So,
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Ramesh Rajendran, for that crisp introduction and the bubbling energy. With the imaginary sound of this imaginary gavel, I declare open Medley's meeting number 600. A very good afternoon to all of you. I take immense pleasure in extending a warm welcome to the sparkling galaxy of exceptional distinguished Toastmasters, distinguished with a D both in capital and in smaller case. I gratefully acknowledge the inspiring presence of some exceptional people. DTM Deepak Menon, immediate past international president of the TMI, underlining our belonging to an international self-development movement. DTM Aditya Maheshwaran, the original champion from India, what many serious Toastmasters would aspire to be, at least secretly. And I must personally thank you for overlooking some stumbles from my side, Aditya. To the District 120 Trio, the leadership model for the young membership of a young district, thank you particularly for going out of your way to reach this meeting to the district-wide audience. I have one small little message from Toastmaster Satish. He has not been able to join because something else has come up. He sends his best greetings. And to district officials, DTMs, Toastmasters, well-wishers, guests, and our own dear Medlians, a hearty welcome to all of you. A grateful welcome to the foresighted founders and their worthy successors. When I approached some of them for their medley memories, they considered my invitation and their response by contributing the most natural and expected behavior. Because they have shaped medley with their imprints and influences. As any clever body of people will do, medley has retained all the beneficial practices forming its current DNA. A few examples. The founders, with great anticipation, christened the club Medley, a short form for, I'm sure they will verify, a short form for diversity that has now become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Then, a former president gave Medley's trait of punctuality and efficiency some permanence. He did so by instituting the aviation industry style ETD of 1455 hours, not 15. Result, on Saturdays such as today, by 2:55 p.m., 90% plus of our meetings take off, and mostly close before or ahead of the expected time. Before the meeting, you heard strains of the souls of Medley, Medley, my second family, part of the DNA. Medley is a sum total of all this, yet evolving all the time, changing only to meet its mission of adding more value to its members. In mid March, without missing a single meeting, we capitalized on COVID, overflew the lockdown to new geographies for joint meetings, and extra Sunday meetings to meet members' demand for speech slots. Result: Medley is crossing another milestone in a hurry, the urge to keep climbing. Thank you, timer. I can almost feel red following yellow. I wouldn't let that happen. Cue to get me on board, on stage, two original thinkers, wise beyond their young age. One says, I am the catalyst who helps people to improve their happiness index. The other will only say, a woman is one who asks for nothing but deserves more. Mystic, mysterious, calling on stage today's Toastmasters, Priyadarshini Bailur and Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan. Over to you, folks.
Thank you, DTM Thomas, for your condensed introduction. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. We welcome you all once again for Medley 600 milestone meeting and celebrations. Today's session is going to be full of fun, but not for fun. Priya, what do you say?
Absolutely right, Ramesh. This evening is going to be one of the most memorable day in Medlians' lives. You know, we Medlians believe the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. Look, we are back again with yet another milestone celebration. Toastmaster Ramesh, I got to know that you are MTech gold medalist.
Yes.
Wow, congratulations. See, I don't have any gold medal, but I believe in creating golden moments. When you share your happiness with others, that's when you create one. And I have decided that today I will be sharing my joy with my fellow Medlians. Zoom Master, can you please help me to find Amita here? Amita, are you here?
Yes, Priyadarshini, I'm here. Hi.
Hi, yay, hi Amita. I got to know that you are called as the hat trick queen because you won 3 times in a row. TT, best TT speaker that was a guest. Oh, congratulations. I would love to give you something today. Amita, keep reading and keep climbing. This one is just for you, Amita, from me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Atishay, are you here? I have a complaint. Atishay?
Hi Priya.
Hi Atishay. You know, we Medlians are very strict with our timings. We rehearse, we practice so well so that there are no hiccups last minute. But your speech saying last minute has inspired many. And today Medlians want to take up every job last minute. Actually, I'm happy with that. And as a sweet gesture, I would like to give you this. Can you please take this from my side? Just for you, Atishay.
Oh, thank
You got
you.
it. Oh, I'm so glad you got it.
Thank you.
Renu, are you here?
Yes, Priya, I'm very much here.
Renu never believes in tomorrow. She says never wait for tomorrow, and that's how she finished her level 5 without taking a break. And I also know you believe in just one master, that is nature. So fresh from nature basket, I have organic tomatoes for you, just for you. Yes, Renu, 1, 2, and 3. Yes, I'm so excited. I want to do more of such celebrations.
Priya,
Oh, yeah.
I just got it from Amita, the same technique what you have used. This virtual gifting, no, it's so awesome.
Oh,
But there is more to come.
okay. Thank you. I'm ready to move on now. Friends, it's time to immerse in quality learning. We are now going to present one-on-one conversation with our immediate past international president, DTM Deepak Menon. And he will be answering to our audience questions, which will be raised by DTM Sugandhi Periyaswamy. Yes, Sugandhi Periyaswamy is our past medley president. She's also been the former District 82 director, super women for good reason, who is associated with medley since 2011. and a banking consultant with TCS. Over to you, DTM Sugandhi Vijayaswamy.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Medlians and guests. I'm honored, and it is my privilege to introduce our chief guest for the day, our immediate past international president, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon. A Toastmaster since 2002 and a member of Central Delhi Toastmasters Club, he is a chartered accountant by profession and a partner at JP Kapoor and an Oberoi accounting firm that serves multinational clientele. He served as the District 82 District Governor in the year 2009 to 2010. And ladies and gentlemen, that time District 82 comprised the whole of India and Sri Lanka. He led District 82 to become the #1 district in the year that he governed us as the district governor as known in those days. A recipient of the Leadership Excellence Award, Excellence in Education and Training, Excellence in Marketing Award, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon championed the effort of the growth of Toastmasters movement in India and Sri Lanka to what it has become. Guess what has distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon achieved or become in his leadership journey? What took him to become the international president? Serving as a club officer for multiple terms, which I'm sure he must have not maintained account of, an area director for at least a year, a division director or a division governor for at least 1 year, Region 13 advisor for 1 year, international director for 2 years, second vice president for a year, first vice president for 1 year, international president-elect for 1 year, and then eventually he reached the pinnacle of the leadership journey called as the international president. So ladies and gentlemen, you must have all now understood the time that distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon has invested in our movement and has contributed his time and effort to the growth of Toastmasters, not only in India and Sri Lanka, but across the world. So today I have the privilege of presenting questions that all of you have shared with me. Before we move on to asking questions, I request our immediate past international president, DTM Deepak sir, to please address us.
Thank you very much, Sugandhi. Good afternoon to all the Medlians and the guests present in this meeting today. It's such an honor, such a privilege to be with you to celebrate this fantastic occasion of the 600th meeting of the Medley Toastmasters Club. Isn't it a fabulous occasion? You already are in this celebratory mood, and I'm looking forward to great celebrations through the rest of this meeting. And as we started this meeting, my mind went back to June 2008 when this club was chartered. At that time, I was the Lieutenant Governor Marketing. Now you call them Club Growth Directors. And I was the Lieutenant Governor Marketing of District 82. And this club was chartered in my year as the Lieutenant Governor Marketing. And so this club is indeed very dear to me. It was one of the clubs that was chartered at that time. And of course, it has flourished ever since. It has produced many leaders and communicators who have done wonders for their club as they represented the club and have done wonders for the Toastmasters movement as they have spread across, not just within the country, but outside the country as ambassadors of Toastmasters. I wish that Medley Toastmasters continues to grow and develop and achieve many, many more milestones and gain all that it can for its members so that they can gain the best benefits of Toastmasters. Back to you, Sugandhi.
Thank you, sir, for such a lovely greeting. So the first question comes for a man of numbers, a chartered accountant. So the first question comes from our club treasurer, Toastmaster Sharanya. She says, we all know that you joined Toastmasters in the year 2002. Why did you join Toastmasters and what is that keeps you going on in Toastmasters till date?
Thank you, Sharanya, for that question. So let me let you into a secret. I did not want to join Toastmasters. I was literally forced into it. And there was this person, Mr. Narinder Bajaj. He actually was an uncle. He passed away in 2016, so he's not with us any longer. But in 2002, I met him at his son's wedding. And at that time, he spoke to me about Toastmasters. And he told me it's an organization where you can help, where you will be helped to improve your communication skills. And I thought, you know what? I have great communication skills. I've been speaking ever since I was born. Oh, well, a little after I was born, not immediately. But the fact was that I didn't think that I needed to improve my communication skills. So when he asked me to come to a Toastmasters meeting, I wasn't too interested. But the fact was that he kept calling me. Every time there was a meeting, he'd call me, he'd send me an email. And it was very difficult to refuse. After all, he was a family member. And what would I tell my mother that I'd refused her cousin? And she would get very annoyed with me. So finally, I decided I'd go to a Toastmasters meeting with the intention of saying what it was and then telling Mr. Bajaj that I was not interested to join. But as luck would have it, I attended the meeting. It came time for table topics. And when I spoke on table topics, I was so nervous. I still remember the sweat on my forehead. And I still remember how my tongue seemed to be tied in ropes because nothing would come out of my mouth as I stood there before that audience of perhaps about 10 or 11 people. And I realized that I certainly needed to improve my confidence, if not my communication. And there was no looking back thereafter. I joined Toastmasters in July 2002. And I have remained in Toastmasters, not just because I did not gain all the confidence that I needed, but because my needs kept changing. I kept finding new things that I could do, I could improve on, I could work on through Toastmasters. And ultimately, I've stayed on in Toastmasters because I find that I'm able to give back to so many more people and help so many more people discover themselves, discover their voice, and discover their abilities and competencies through Toastmasters.
Thank you, sir. The next question comes from Pavitra Sridhar, who is a newer member and most enthusiastic in the younger members of the club. Her question is, what has been the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you in your Toastmasters journey?
Thank you, Pavitra. You know, it was just that first meeting that I attended was perhaps amongst the most embarrassing events that occurred to me. I told you that I had to speak on table topics. I barely managed to speak for 1 minute during that time. And the most embarrassing thing that happened was when the R counter in that meeting read out their report and said that Deepak Menon had 27 fillers in the 1 minute that he did not speak. So you can imagine how embarrassed and how completely flabbergasted I was about my inability to speak coherently. And that really prompted me to ensure that I became a member. I took on the role of the R counter many, many times so that I could discover how I could improve and remove the fillers from my own language and my own speeches. It came to such a pass that when I used to talk to people on the phone, I would not be concentrating on what the message was, but I'd be counting the number of fillers that they used even in those conversations. Back to you, Suganti.
Thank you, sir. That's so relatable to most of us. The next question comes from our past Vice President membership. We all know that you have formally served in the leadership journey for more than 14 years before you moved on to become the International President. What was your biggest challenge during your term as the International President, and how did you overcome it? Over to you, sir.
Thank you for that question. That really is a no-brainer. My most difficult challenge as the International President was coping with the pandemic. It just seemed to be that everything was going right until February of 2020. In fact, we were doing better as an organization than we had done in the preceding 3 or 4 years. And it did seem that everything was hunky-dory and we do extremely well as the year ended. And I was feeling quite complacent about it until suddenly the pandemic struck. And we had to come to grips with this crisis that hit us, hit humanity, the worst that we've encountered in the last century. And we had to find ways in which we could take care of our members, ensure their welfare, their safety, and make sure that they were protected. And so amongst the first decisions that we had to take was to ensure that we had all clubs make possible online meetings for their members. And of course, from that followed other events for the districts, all went online. And of course, now more than 85% of our clubs worldwide are meeting online. And I think that was the biggest challenge that we had to face. Of course, there were many other challenges, but I'm not going to describe them all. It'll take the rest of the meeting today if I were to start speaking about the challenges that we had to face during this year. Over to you, Suganti.
Thank you, sir. And I'm sure that it was your able and strong leadership that also motivated us to continue as stronger Toastmasters in all these unprecedented times. The next question comes from one of our senior Toastmasters, Toastmaster Venkatesh. He is requesting you to share your experiences of serving as the grammarian at the club meeting and what has been the most challenging time that you faced as a grammarian.
Thank you, Suganti. As a grammarian, it has been interesting to serve in that role. I think that because I'm not really a very proficient grammarian, so to say, it's based on what one hears and captures that one determines, okay, this doesn't sound too right. And so obviously there is something that is erroneous. I don't really carry a Wren and Martin with me into the club meetings, and I never ever really paid too much attention to Wren and Martin, even in my school days. So I did have a little bit of a challenge trying to figure out what was right and what was wrong. Of course, it was easy to determine what was right, but what was wrong and what should be the correct way that members should use what they had mispronounced or perhaps misstated was the challenge. But I kept getting better as a grammarian through the meetings that I performed that role in. And I'm looking forward to one day serving again as grammarian in one of my club meetings very shortly.
Thank you. So while most of us are quite nervous about serving as the grammarian, now that we've heard from you, I'm sure we will grab the role the next time the Vice President Education offers it to us. The next question comes in from our newer member, Toastmaster Karthikeyan. He would like to know who is your role model in life or in Toastmasters?
Thank you, Karthikeyan. That's a beautiful question. I held up Mr. Bajaj as my role model in Toastmasters initially, the gentleman who brought me into Toastmasters and who actually helped revive a dying club. That was the club I joined, the Toastmasters Club of New Delhi, way back in 2002. When I joined that club, it was a club that had been suspended. And he helped revive that club and ensured that the club became the first club, the mother club of what is now presently two districts, District 41 and District 98. So I held him up as a role model for a person who believed passionately about Toastmasters and who persevered despite challenges. But I've had many other role models, like past International President Dilip Abhisekara, who's been a role model to me, past International President Ted Corcoran, another role model that I hold very dear. These two gentlemen have been my leadership mentors and have helped me in every possible way, right from the time that I started as international director or campaigning for international director till the time that I became international president. So these three gentlemen clearly are outstanding individuals. I would like to name one other person as a role model, and this person is familiar to many of you there in Chennai, and that's distinguished Toastmaster Janaki Prasad Patnaik. He was instrumental in teaching me the ropes of what a district really means when the district started way back in 2006 as District 82. And I was a division governor that year. And but for Janaki, I would have been at sea because it was such a challenge for all of us because we were so new to the district and district roles. So Janaki Patnaik, again, a stellar role model to have.
Thank you, sir. The next question comes in from our present Vice President membership, Toastmaster Saravanan. His question is, how do international presidents devise strategic plan for the Toastmasters International as an organization?
Thank you very much. I would say that it's not just the international president who devises a strategic plan, it's the entire board of directors who works on a strategic plan. We had our first 5-year strategic plan in 2010, the second one in 2015, and the third plan was to be unveiled in 2020. And we have been working since the last 2 years on the strategic plan that we were going to roll out in 2020. Unfortunately, the pandemic struck and we had to change our plan because the strategic plan that we had been working on was a long-term 5-year, 3 to 5 year plan. But we can't now predict what's going to happen perhaps tomorrow. Forget about what might happen a year or 2 years, 3 years later. And so we had to come up with an interim plan very quickly, which would be capable of helping our organization for the next 12 to 18 months, taking into consideration the needs of our members. And like in any strategic plan, we start by first looking at our reviewing our mission and our vision, our core values, look at our strengths, our weaknesses, the opportunities and threats, and then based on what is the real need of our members and what is it that the organization requires to do to achieve and help our members achieve what they need to, we work on our strategic plan and determine it.
Thank you, sir. That is so mind-blowing to hear what goes behind the scenes. While many of us are struggling to take on the role of a club officer and serve for 6 months, a lot goes behind the scene, and I'm sure we all now understand how much of effort and time you must have invested all your way, all along in becoming the international president and serving through various strategic committees. The next question comes in from yours truly. We know that you have accomplished the Distinguished Toastmaster achievement for 6 times. What has been that one difficult project?
You know, the first challenge or the only challenge that I really faced in my Distinguished Toastmaster journey was achieving the first Distinguished Toastmaster recognition. And in that, my first and only stumbling block was, how do I manage to get a high performance leadership? How do I manage to cross that obstacle? And I had absolutely no clue what would be the project, how would I do it, how would I get around to doing it, how would I set up a mentoring committee for it? And guess who came to my rescue? It was Janaki Prasad Patnaik. I had a long 2-hour conversation with him, and suddenly everything became very clear, and I knew what I needed to do. And of course, there was no looking back thereafter. And sure enough, I got my HPL, I got my first ATM, and then of course, the others followed suit.
Thank you, sir. Accomplishing a DTM 6 times itself shows how much you're committed to the educational program. Please help us understand how we can stay focused towards the educational program.
Thank you, Suganti. I think that our educational program is very robust. It today now Pathways teaches us so many competencies, and we've now got 11 paths that we can work on, we can choose from and work through. And the first couple of levels in each path require us to repeat what we've learned earlier. Now, as we go through those couple of levels, it's a great idea to find ways in which you can be different from the last time you had done those projects in those first two levels, and try to improve what you've been doing in the first part and improve and go on further on the second part, and keep challenging yourself to be better than you have always been. That's what I did. Each time I did my DTM, when I attempted my next DTM, I tried to improve, I tried to enhance, I tried to challenge myself in every way possible so that I ended up better than I was when I completed the earlier DTM. And I continue to do that even today as I present all my speeches. I ensure, or try to at least ensure, that I'm better than I was when I spoke earlier.
Having been our international president through one of the most toughest period that any international president would have ever faced, what has been that one challenge that you faced as a club officer?
Interesting question again. I think the biggest challenge that I faced was when I stepped into the role of the club president for the first time. That was in 2003, 2004, when I became the president of the Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. At that time, when I began the year as the president, we had about 14 members in the club. I told you a little while ago that we started off as a reinstated club. And so there were very few members in the club at that time. So just about 14 members in the club when I started off. And we used to meet twice a month, once every one, I think the first and third Tuesdays of every month is when we used to meet. And I remember my goal, my objective was to make sure that the world got to know about, at least New Delhi got to know about Toastmasters. That was the only club in the city at that time, and nobody really knew what was Toastmasters. When you went out, anytime you called out Toastmasters, people thought either you were being invited to come to have a drink, or we were calling you to perhaps learn how to make toast. Not the toast that you rise up and speak, but the toast that you eat. And so it was very difficult to bring awareness. And so that project that year was to ensure that there was growing awareness of Toastmasters in the city. And that was managed through a lot of press coverage of Toastmasters. I'm not going to go into the strategies we used to manage that. And I'll cut it short by saying that our strategies proved successful. By the end of my year as president, we had grown into a club of 40 members, from 14 to 40. And we were now meeting every week because now members wanted more slots, and we were lacking those slots unless we started meeting weekly. And of course, there was that really was the starting point for the club to move forward and go into glorious times.
Thank you, sir, for such a motivational response. The last question for the evening comes from Toastmaster Sundaresan, who's a veteran Toastmaster of 18 years. He asks, how do you envision the future of Toastmasters International?
Thank you very much for that beautiful question. My passion for Toastmasters has led me to where I have reached. And that passion wants that every single person on earth gets to know about Toastmasters, that Toastmasters should be a household name. I have seen how it has changed the lives of the people it touches in so many different ways. I've seen people who have been in, have lost themselves in cocoons of depression, overcome that depression and become so confident about themselves. I've seen people who stutter and stammer and have gained the confidence to overcome their speaking disabilities and become confident about themselves. I've seen how people have been able to really turn around their lives by getting promotion, getting recognition as leaders in their organizations, in the community, and changing their lives for themselves. I've seen how we have had many of our members become politicians and lead communities through their Toastmasters experience. And I feel that what Toastmasters has to offer is for every single person on earth. And that is what I believe should be the future of Toastmasters.
Thank you, Deepak sir, for taking out time to give us those interesting and thought-provoking answers. I'm sure even if we have to spend an entire day asking you this, I'm sure we would not feel satisfied, because we have so much to learn from your leadership journey in Toastmasters, and particularly as a very humble servant leader. Sir, we would also now request you to release our newsletter, which has been championed by our Vice President Public Relations, Toastmaster Narasimhan. The newsletter is called Medley Matters, and we now request you to please release it. Sir, I think you're on mute. Deepak sir, I think you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't know what went wrong with the audio. Thank you, Suganti. It is indeed my honor, my privilege to release the newsletter on the occasion of the 600th meeting of Medley Toastmasters. And of course, Medley matters. And that's why the newsletter is Medley Matters.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of Medley members, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking out time from your busy schedule and being with us. And we look forward to more learnings and more guidance from you in the days to come. Thank you very much, Deepak sir, for being with us on the special occasion. Over to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Priya and Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan.
Yes.
Very much.
Thank you, DTM Deepak Menon sir, for your leadership lessons. I must say you have taken this celebration of ours to a very high level with your zealous speech. We appreciate your kind words and the enthusiasm that you have inculcated in our young members. Thank you so much. And thank you, DTM Sugandhi Periyaswamy.
Listening to an international voice, let us listen to voice of Namma Mersal Medlians. But before that, I promised you, right? We will have full of fun.
Wow.
So let's play a small game, Priya.
Sure.
It's called a wheel game. And I request Shankar to share your screen and spin the wheel. We have added all the names of the members as well as the today's speakers. Let's see who wins, and the winner is going to get a gift voucher.
Wow. And the winner is Dinesh Shekhar. Congratulations, Dinesh. It's time to hear from Namma Medley.
Salutations to all of you.
How is it, Ramesh?
I
Now?
pray
Yes,
fortune
good.
Sorry, yeah.
to bless Medley, and fortune did bless Medley.
The best speech I ever heard in Medley is not from a distinguished Toastmaster or a senior Toastmaster, but a senior member who was a new Toastmaster. He spoke about his son in a very emotional icebreaker. It may not be the best speech in body language or vocal variety, but it was a speech which was spoken from the bottom of the emotion. I remember the speech very vividly, and I look forward to Medley 600.
The Eureka moment for me at Medley was the day I entered Medley as a guest. I was very surprised and happy by the warmth, the enthusiasm, and the versatility of the members there. As I always say, I can't think of a better way to spend my Saturday afternoons. I congratulate Medley and all Medlians for the 600th milestone.
One speech that I remember vividly was early this year. It was given by a young Toastmaster. It had all the necessary ingredients: drama, suspense, and comedy. It was about this young person and a group of friends who had gone to Kuwait airport to film the landing and taking off of flights without knowing the consequences and what happened later on. It was so very well articulated, I remember it to this day. And the name of the Toastmaster who delivered the speech? Pranav Sudarshan.
Fellow Medlians, my best wishes to all Medley Toastmasters on this 600th meeting. One speech which impressed me in our Medley Club is with speech title Lord of the Rings, delivered by Toastmaster Narasimhan. He narrated the difficult job of a manual scavenger getting into the drainage to clean. He gave 3 relevant solutions also to make their life easy and safe to work with.
Congratulations to all of us on reaching the 600th milestone meeting.
I joined Medley Toastmasters Club recently. I just attended only 2 meetings as a guest. I was fascinated that the way of meeting is being conducted. On dot every Saturday afternoon 2:55 p.m. the meeting will be started. I would like to record a video again for Medley 1000th meetings. Good luck to Medley.
Congratulations, Medley Toastmasters Club. 600th milestone meeting. Great news. As a charter member, my happiness is much more.
I joined Medley last year. Before I joined Medley, I had terrible stage fear. One of my friends referred me. I came to Medley and understood the people are here to correct our mistakes, not criticizing our mistake, encouraging to speak. This made me to join the club. I have taken up all the roles. Doing roles improved my confidence, coordinating with people, to share positive feedbacks, listening skill, PPT presentation, etc. The purpose I joined the club to improve my leadership and communication skill. I hope I am at the right place.
I feel proud to be part of Medley. After attending every Saturday sessions, I feel motivated, energized. I carry over that energy throughout the week. I wish Medley to achieve many more milestones.
One speech which really struck me was actually a speech given by Toastmaster Dinesh Shekhar. He was talking about his grandfather, and he had a really brilliant opening night. He said his grandfather was a man with silver hair and golden heart. That sentence somehow stuck to my mind. And when it was time for one of our vice presidents in my organization to retire, I was called upon to give a speech. And I used the same line and it was very well received.
Congratulations to all of us on our 600th milestone meeting. Hip hip hooray! Wow, that's amazing. After hearing to our Namma medley, I think it's time to discover your best version. I'm sure you all are eager to hear from the original champion from India. And to do this, I now call upon Toastmaster Kalyan, yes, past president of Medley, Division K, Director of the Year 2019-2020, one who owns the patent for Raymond's Perfect Man campaign and an entrepreneur. Over to you, Toastmaster Kalyan.
Thank you, Priya. My very first conference in my life, there is a first conference I attended, it was a division conference. That keynote speaker came on stage and took push-ups. I was wondering, what is this man doing? He gave an impeccable speech. The whole fraternity celebrated him, decorated him. Whereas at the end, when the results was announced, his mentee won the competition. He went and celebrated his mentee like anything. It was beautiful to see him recognize people and he getting recognized. Now this man went on to become a management consultant operating from London, a thought leader, a TEDx speaker, and one of the Indian to represent world champion of public speaking, 2014 semi-finalist, 2015 podium finisher, 2017 semi-finalist. Though he had grown this tall, his roots are always with us. I have the privilege to introduce our own distinguished Toastmaster, Aditya Mageshwara. Aditya.
Thank you so much, Kalyan. Thumbs up if I'm audible. All right, fantastic. Thank you. A lovely introduction, personal touch, Kalyan. I do remember that conference really well as well. It was way off the city, but it was fully worth it. It's a pleasure to be here. 600th meeting. What an achievement. I remember the days in Chennai Business School, 2008. It was crazy times, but we always knew Medley had this impeccable potential to grow into what it has today. It may sound cliche, but I love saying that to any of these milestone meeting celebrations, which is 600 is not special for 600's own sake. You know, 600 is special because of that 85th meeting where and nobody turned up and you had to double hat or triple hat 4 different roles and you got frustrated. But that has led up to where you are today. Probably meeting 252 when the general evaluator from another club came and ripped apart your club, even though you had worked so hard to make the club what it is. Yet you sustained and incorporated that feedback. Meeting 525 when the club contest happened and nobody turned up, you didn't get enough judges, blah, 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 but still you sustained. So it is all of these 599 meetings that at that moment may not have always been pleasant, but which crescendos when you look at a milestone and look backwards. But a milestone tells you how much there is more to travel, isn't it? Not just how much you've traveled. So I'm sure Medley is going to continue, sustain this momentum and reach the thousands and 2000s very soon. Thank you so much for inviting me, not just because of my past affinity to medleys, right from the CBS days, but because of such a lineup you have today. I was just telling Sugandhi on chat at the moment, this is a meeting which I just could not resist, even if you had invited me to just be virtually present without doing any role. I would have taken that offer up just because of the lineup that you have in the agenda. And thank you, everybody, the founder members of Medley, who may still not be Toastmasters, but still took time to attend this event. Now, the topic for the next 20 minutes is being a better version of yourself. This probably is the most cliche line in the last decade. Everybody talks about being a better version of yourself. It's probably the most popular punch dialogue, motivational dialogue. But let's look at it from a different lens. Now, being a better version of yourself, for most parts of our early life, is an automated process. A child moves from crawling to walking, not because of the child, but in spite of the child. It happens automatically. Now, the desires towards the toys and joys of life are automatically dropped and moves towards other desires of adolescence, not because of a child, but in spite of a child. The hormones and growth, the physical growth takes care of it. Now you enter into early adulthood, not because of you, but in spite of you. So life kind of takes you till a while. And then life tells you, hey, here's where I stop. This is where you have a choice in your early 20s and later, saying, I have evolved you till the extent you need to survive in this world. I've made you a better version of yourself at 10 compared to 5, at 15 compared to 10, at 20 compared to 15. Now I'm going to let you go, my son, my daughter, and it's your choice to want to continue to become a better version of yourself or stagnate here. So progress after a point becomes a choice. It's not an automated process. Though it took all of us to a certain stage in life. And that's the trick about versions, isn't it? When you talk about version 1.0, 2.0, a lot of these version changes happened in spite of us. And suddenly we are left in this mean world having to do the weightlifting ourselves after a point in time. So today's session is my experience, my personal experience of how do you weightlift against your own brain? Because remember, brain is just 2 kgs, but it sucks away 25% of all energy that your body utilizes. So the brain is designed not to become a better version of yourself, because the brain is designed to conserve its own energy, to ensure it utilizes energy in more fundamental physiological reactions of the body. So to be a better version of yourself, to be a better leader, to be a better speaker, to change certain habits requires enormous neural network changes, shifts. That doesn't come so easily. And that's why we find people may know what the right thing to do is. You may look at Deepak and see a great leader that you want to be like, but you may find it exceedingly difficult to do certain simple things that Deepak may find it easy to do. That's because our brain works to conserve its own energy. So today, let's see what are some things that we can do to become a better version by design, and not hope that would happen by default, because the default stage is over. Life has left us to our own devices at the moment today. One of the first things that I have found very useful, and I'm going to, as the typical 20-minute education cliche goes, I'm going to talk to you about PPPP, 5, 6 Ps today. So the first P that I want to talk to you about is having a plan. Now, a lot of us at different points in time have a plan for either physically uplifting ourselves to be fit, mentally, intellectually, but very few of us have a holistic plan. What's your plan for physical fitness? What's your plan for emotional fitness, intelligence? What's your plan for intellectual simulation? What's your plan for spiritual quotient? So having a holistic plan is, I have seen, pretty much a precondition for becoming a better version of yourself. The reason is this: unless you are physically capable, it's very difficult to sit down and concentrate. I remember reading a book where Swami Vivekananda said, don't send children to meditation, send children to football grounds. Everybody asked Swami, so, but why do you say that? Aren't you supposed to teach them spirituality? He said, yes, but if they're going to sit in meditation with their backs paining or their legs paining, they're not anyway going to be able to concentrate. So first send them to football fields, develop yourself physically, keep yourself fit, and then elevate yourself to your mental health, to your emotional intelligence, ability to handle failure, resilience, ability to be in control of your emotions during moments of dilemma, not during easy times. Now, without physical fitness, it's difficult to train your mind to what you want it to be. And without the emotional control, it's difficult to train your intellect to what you want it to be. Intellect is the faculty in all of us that discriminates, distinguishes, classifies, categorizes good from bad, helps us take decisions. It's the prefrontal cortex. It's the logical part of our brain. But logic is held hostage to our own emotions. And when you haven't had a grip of your mental state, it's very difficult for you to distinguish right and wrong, good and bad. Though you may know it, you won't be able to action on it. And when the intellectual part of you gets fit, then you would be calm enough to ask larger questions about life. The spiritual quotient may get active after a while. But the point is to start with a plan. If you take a week, any work week of yours, what's the time you're devoting to keep yourself fit physically? But if it's restricted to just physical fitness, we may end up overdoing it. All right, you spend 6 hours a day doing 100 different physical activities. For what? But you're keeping yourself physically fit so that you can mentally concentrate. Focus on work. Focus on what's important to you. Focus on the big questions of life. For what? You're mentally trying to regulate yourself so that you can focus on intellectually becoming wiser, the ability to see things as they are, the ability to be impersonal in life so that you can be objective. For what? So that you can ask larger questions. So the first P is really having a plan. If you really need to be a better version of yourself, what's the plan? How does your week look like? As people say, show me where the money is. Yes, you want to be a better version, but where's the plan? How does your week or month look like? So that's the first P, have a plan. The second P, friends, is practice. Practice, not in the way we define in terms of speech practice at Toastmasters, but practice is focus on application, not just about knowledge. Knowledge is overhyped, if you ask me. How many of us, especially at Toastmasters, how many education sessions have you attended in your life? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100? Outside of Toastmasters, another 100? How has your everyday experience of life changed as a result of that? Probably a little, but trickle down effect, probably a drop of everything that you've heard. The focus of all of us, especially these days, because of availability of information through internet, through self-help books, through podcasts, through TED Talks, through inspiring leaders like a lot of people here on the call, seems to be possessing information. I had a friend in London here who called me up and said, Aditya, I want to invite you home. I said, great, for what? He said, I've reached 250. I said, 250 in what? He said, I've bought 250 self-help books. I have a library of self-help books. That's great. But how has that improved your experience of life? Knowledge happens in 3 stages. Stage 1 is knowing, which is great, which is the ability to know new things, hear new perspectives, read new things. But stage 2 is the ability to superimpose that on our own lives, which is called understanding or internalizing, where you have an independent conviction of why that's important. And stage 3 is becoming, where you are able to see that available for observation in your own behavior. When we design, as a management consultant, when I design learning programs or leadership programs for my clients, we follow this age-old, ancient principle, but very useful. We call it the 70-20-10. I think DDI developed that first. Learning happens, or application of learning happens, when 70% of learning happens on the job, in the flow of work. 20% of learning, internalizing, happens because of people, mentors, guides. Only 10% of learning actually happens through classroom sessions, through reading books, through watching videos, through the typical traditional way of know-how accumulation, isn't it? But most of our lives is focused on 70% of taking in information, 20% of processing it, probably 10% of actual change. So how do we flip our lives to, I may read a small paragraph of text, but I'm going to ensure the rest of my day reflects that elevated person that I want to be. A lot of people attend self-help talks or even spiritual lectures and all of that, but it kind of limits to that 1 hour a week, isn't it? The rest 167 hours is that available for observation. If the urgency of change shifts from owning material to becoming that material, then whatever you want to be is available for observation. You become a better version for yourself. So have a plan, focus on practice beyond just knowing. All of us know. All of us are philosophers when it comes to advising our neighbor, isn't it? Which means we all know, because if your friend goes through a breakup, you would be probably the best counselor. When you go through a breakup, that's when your mind goes wonky sometimes. So practice. The third P is persistence. Now, what is persistence? All great things in life, unfortunately, because of how our brain operates in terms of conserving its own energy, all long-term gains are initially painful, without exception. Without exception. If you want to be fit, long-term gain, it's initially very painful, isn't it? And that's why it's very difficult to wake up in the morning, put your sporting gear, ensure you're biking every day or running every day. It seems abundantly painful. You're used to your weekends on Netflix, partying. Now, suddenly, if you want to become a better public speaker, you got to devote 4-5 hours in your weekend practicing a skill which seems to eat away your weekend. It's exceedingly painful, and we drop it in a few weeks. All long-term gains, without exception, all long-term gains come as short-term misery. And all short-term joy mostly end up as long-term frustration. So life is kind of topsy-turvy in that sense. It's very interesting because all long-term gains are always short-term miseries. Whether I met a small kid in Harrow School. I live in a place called Harrow here in London. That's where the famous Harrow School is, where Jawaharlal Nehru studied, it seems. Winston Churchill studied. It's very expensive. In our Indian language, it requires 2 of your kidneys to study there. That's what I heard. So I was touring Harrow School, and I went to the sports auditorium there. A 10-year-old kid was practicing gymnastics. When I started the tour, he was practicing. When I ended the tour, he was practicing. It was a weekend, and people here don't do much on weekends, so I was surprised. So I asked that little boy, what are you practicing so intensely for? He said, for the 2028 Olympics, sir. I said, are you kidding? 2028 Olympics, it's 2019. This happened last year. Don't you want to have fun like the other kids, like just play around and stuff? He said, the other kids won't win the gold medal in 2028, sir. I said, what does that mean? He said, sir, if I want freedom of consequence, which is winning the gold medal at 2028, my choices today are severely constrained. I can't be like the other kids. But if I want freedom today to do what I want to do like the other kids, my freedom of consequence is severely constrained. Freedom lies at one side of the stick, not both sides of the stick. If you turn one side of the stick, the other side, you don't have a choice, isn't it? Other side automatically shifts when you change one side of the stick. So it was very powerful. Freedom lies at one side. If you want freedom of results, to choose who you want to be, a better version, your choices today are severely constrained. You can't do whatever you want to do. You got to apprentice what that result requires of you. But if you want freedom today, YOLO, I live life only once, I'll do what I want to do. Of course you can. But you end up losing freedom of consequence to be that better version you want to be. And that requires persistence. Persistence makes you realize the constrained freedom of today is not a bad thing. The claustrophobic requirement of focus today to achieve your goals, it's not freedom taken away from you. It's investing in future freedom of consequence. And that requires persistence, because it's easy to fall in the chasm and dissolve and go back to how you were, the previous version that you were. That's a third P, friends, persistence. The fourth P is patience. Now, this is a tricky thing. That's why most people give up. If you're trying to become a better person or a better version of yourself, as today's topic goes, sometimes the moment you take a U-turn is not the same moment that you start being appreciated for that change. There is a lag which is exceedingly difficult to cross unless you have a high level of resilience. Let me explain. Suppose you're a person who kind of gives into lying. You're not a pathological liar. You kind of say those small lies so your friends see you as a person who's not trustable. And you want to change that. You're inspired to be a very authentic leader, authentic person. So from tomorrow morning, you stop saying lies. Everything you say, however uncomfortable it is facing the truth as it is. It has required a tremendous amount of persistence for you to do that. Now, so you tell the truth the next day. What do people around you tell you? You must be lying because we know you're a liar. It hurts you because you have taken so much effort to do the right thing, but still what you get in return from the world is dirty, is still So what's the point of telling the truth if the world is anyway going to continue to call me a liar? There's an extreme example, but that happens in all our lives, isn't it? You try to be a better person, but you don't get the response for that. So we go back to who we are. That is because we all carry a backlog. We have to pay the debts of our past. It's the buttons that you punched in the past that creates perception in the world towards you. And that perception, which has been accumulated over time, requires time to wear off. So the time that you change, you be a better version, is not the time that you're recognized for that. There is this lag, which is most difficult to cross, where you have truly changed, yet it takes the momentum to subside for you to be recognized for that change or seen as that changed person. And it's that time where we often quit. It's like car ignition, isn't it? Imagine you're driving a car, and as you are driving, you've switched off the engine. Does the car immediately stop? No. The car goes 20 more meters and then it stops because there is momentum of acceleration of the past, which needs to slow down automatically. You got to pay your debts that you've taken in the past. So patience is the ability to have that industry, steadfastness and faith and belief that I'm doing the right thing to change myself. But if I cross this period of doing the right thing, but not being seen as a person who is elevated already, then there will be a time when you're also seen as that person who has changed. So that's patience. So plan, practice, persistence, patience. The fifth P I want to talk to you about is interesting. It's protection. You know, you would have seen in persistence and patience that we're talking about a very tender thing called change. Your brain is against it. People around you are not going to help because they're still seeing you as they know you. So protection is the ability to curate your environment that facilitates this change. If you truly want to be a person who's more knowledgeable or who's wiser, who's a better decision maker, then surround yourself with a protective layer that carries the sprout that you are safely till you become a tree, which means surround yourself with people who you want to be like. Surround yourself with a more pure atmosphere. Surround yourself with the kind of activities you want to do. Be in a place, book your schedule in a way that doesn't tempt you to go astray. So protection kind of is the incubation for that period where you're trying to be a better version for yourself. It could be your environment, it could be the people you're with, it could be the activities you do, it could be what you opt in and opt out of. If you truly want to be a better public speaker, for example, you may want to be in the ambience of Toastmaster meetings rather than ambience of your friend circle who pull you to other things. So that's protecting yourself to negate things you need to negate and assert things you need to assert to reach your goal. And the last P I want to end with is passion. You know, doing what our goal requires us to do, yet doing what we want to do, is the biggest reason why none of us achieve our goals, isn't it? If you want to be a CEO, what does the CEO role require me to do now? I need to be part of industry forums. I need to go network. I need to make the uncomfortable phone calls. I need to learn more skills, domain skills, functional skills, leadership skills. But what do I end up doing? What comes naturally to me? You know, being a little lazy, tamasic, not investing enough time, you know, doing what I anyway want to do. Now, there is this resistance between what you ought to do to go where you want to go and what we end up doing because of our own temperaments and what we are wired as. Now, this natural resistance is exceedingly hard to break. So opting into activities where the resistance is naturally lesser, is a great trick for you to be successful, which is some of you may find for Toastmasters, you naturally got up that Saturday morning or Sunday evening and went to your Toastmaster club. You didn't bother whether there was an India-Australia cricket match going on. You didn't bother whether there was some family function going on. There was very little resistance that your mind offered to do this, which means there was some natural passion in you. This activity was swadharmic from a Sanskrit standpoint, which means it was natural to you. There are some activities which could be simpler than going to a Toastmaster meeting, which offers massive resistance in your mind, isn't it? You don't even want to get out of your bed for that. That is paradharmic. It doesn't come naturally to you. So intelligent people try to choose activities that are swadharmic to them, because the effort required to be a better version there is simpler than the amount of effort required in doing things that are not naturally to you. So when we talk about passion here, find out the theaters of action where your natural passion ignites. All of us are here because we found that passion in Toastmasters. Can you replicate this passion in other activities? But if you're already opted into activities where the resistance is large, try to look for that passion wherein you can reduce that resistance. So I just want to summarize and conclude. So progress for us doesn't happen by default, because life has taken us to a particular place and said, son, daughter, I leave you here. It's your choice now. And progress, in my experience, requires a plan, a holistic plan. It requires practice, not just knowing. It requires persistence in the short term to get your long-term freedom. It requires patience, especially that uncomfortable time after you have done your work, but you're not getting rewarded for your work. It requires passion, and it requires protection to ensure the sapling becomes a tree. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I will hand it back to our Master of Ceremonies, Kalyan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aditya. Thank you very much. I'll get back the control to the team ODs, Priya and Ramesh.
Yes.
Thank you, Aditya.
Yes. Definitely a big thanks to DTM Aditya Maheshwaran. Thank you for sharing your experience and helping us grow better. I must say your positive energy is palpable and you have a great sense of style, because in such a short period, you were able to inspire us and help discover our better version. Thank you. Toastmaster Ramesh, I think it's time for us to spin the wheel and see if the wheel has discovered its better version now. It's very interesting.
Why not? Sure, Priya. Yes, we still have some budget for the lucky draw winner. May I request Shankar to spin one more time, please?
Okay, Ramesh, is my screen audible?
Yes. Wow. The winner is Jayhar, Toastmaster Jayhar. Let's continue. So last month on 28th of October, District 120 ran a campaign. It was called District 120 at D120, celebrating 120 days of existence. Today, as District 120 has reached 150 days, here is requesting District Trio to share the happy tidings of the first 150 days. I'd like to call a founder and CEO of WinBytes, an Indian IT and ITS services company, been in Toastmasters for the last 10 years, past area and division director, awarded as the Star Division Director for the year 2015 and 16, conference chair for semi-annual district conference Reverberation 2017 at Tamil Nadu. Please join me in welcoming Toastmasters Praveen Mani.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Ramesh. Past international president, the man who made all the Indians proud of the global arena, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, past district directors, distinguished Toastmasters all, Nina John, Subanthi Periasamy, current district officers and fellow Toastmasters of Medlians. A very good evening to one and all. It is indeed my honor to be here with you all during your milestone celebration. Thanks to our President Thomas for sharing the invite with me. Today's milestone meeting is a special one. Of course, milestone for every club comes once in 6 months. You might ask, what is so special about today's milestone meeting? In fact, time and tide waits for none. Whether you like it or not, there'll be one milestone for every club once in 6 months. But I was shocked to know this is the second milestone Medley is celebrating within 6 months. So I reached out to our President Thomas and asked, what is that the reason behind celebrating the second milestone? And he indeed shared the secret with me. The secret that he shared with me is not the secret behind the second milestone within 6 months, but is also the same secret behind why Medley is called one of the top clubs in District 120. He said, Praveen, we want to ensure, and we are on a mission to make sure that every member of Medley Toastmaster get to deliver a speech in a month. That is our mission, that we want to ensure every member gets the equal opportunity. There should not be a time where members should come to us and say, we don't get a speech slot. So the XCOM, they went on to have more meetings in the last 6 months. As a district director, I have an opportunity to visit many of the clubs in our district. And to tell you what, there are many clubs who are not even having the club meetings. And they're coming with a reason saying, in this pandemic, it's so difficult for the XCOM to be motivated to conduct meetings. While some of the clubs are in that state, think of Medley Toastmaster, where the XCOM are putting double the efforts to ensure that every one of you here are getting the equal opportunity. And that's exactly what makes this milestone meeting a special milestone, because this is the reason behind Medley's success. And I wouldn't be surprised if I get to know that 95 to 100% of all the members here are being retained in the next term, because the way that member experience is given by the Medley Toastmasters XCOM, I think I salute each and every one of you on that note. Now, our Toastmaster Ramesh asked us to give a report of 150 days of District 120. I'll do that with my own honors. Now, in fact, the district mission and the Medley Toastmaster mission are not too different. Even we are on the mission to ensure that the greater member experience is provided to every member in District 120. Let me just share the top 3 achievements or the top 3 initiatives which are very close to my heart, which I think is making a difference to every member in our district. Number 1, plethora of TLI events. There are enough events for every one of us here, whether you are a newbie in Toastmaster, whether you're a senior Toastmaster, whether you're in a journey to improve to become a better speaker, leader, a better version of you, like Aditya said. There are enough TLI events being organized month on month. In fact, our president, Thomas Abram, is one of the Toastmasters who've been so diligent enough to attend every TLI event initiated by our PQD team. Second, the club growth initiative by the club coaches initiative by the club growth team under the leadership of DTM Parthasarthi and spearheaded by our own member Sundaraman sir and along with Mala ma'am. They're doing a phenomenal job in terms of reviving all the clubs to reach excellence. In fact, that's one of the mission of district as well. Now, finally, and my most favorite of all, the mentor pool initiative headed by distinguished Toastmaster Nina John and the support of our own Dr. Sampath Sauri Rajan. We want to ensure that every member in District 120 should have a mentor to guide in a long-term journey in Toastmasters. We don't want to see a Toastmasters as a crash course, or you come here for 1 year and then leave the forum. If we have members like Tyagarajan sir for several years, it is only because they see the value in Toastmasters, and they saw the value not by themselves. There was mentors guiding them to see the value in Toastmasters. So with these 3 initiatives, I think we are heading the right direction to make a strong district. There are plenty more initiatives coming on your way. Relax and enjoy. Enjoy is the most important keyword here, because our founder, Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, says, we learn the best in the moments of enjoyment. Enjoy your Toastmaster journey. Let's celebrate more milestone meeting. I'll be there to celebrate along with you. Thank you so much. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Praveen Mani, for sharing the top 3 key points. Next, I would like to invite a person who has been a Toastmaster since 2006, former division director, division governor, charter member of DXC Chennai chapter, distinguished Toastmaster, computer science engineer, certified project management professional, working with the DXC technology as project lead. Please join me in welcoming DTM PD Parthasarathi.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Dignitaries, Toastmasters, and Toastmasters who are here as guests, a very good evening to you all. First of all, let me congratulate Medley Toastmasters on successfully reaching 600 meets. Initially, when I heard the name Medley Toastmasters, I surely thought I heard it wrong. I did think there should have been an S at the beginning because our founder's name is Smedley, so I thought it should be Smedley Toastmasters. But today, I can convince anyone that Medley Toastmasters are named accordingly in thought, word, and deed. That is the variety of members in this prestigious club who scintillate not just in Toastmasters, but also in various areas of life. Now, what have the District 120 done in the last 150 days? As our District Director Toastmaster Praveen Mani said, a lot has been done with a lot of Medlians as well. The first team was the club extension team, where we had a vivid team which includes our own new club mentor chair, distinguished Toastmaster Guru Prasad Patmanabhan. This team has been ensuring that we don't just start or finding new leads, but we also ensure we followed up on club leads from last year. And especially, I would like to mention thanks to our Toastmaster Kalyan, who brought in a lead from which we chartered Kartek Toastmasters this month. We ensured that we would follow up on every lead that came by, and also make sure that we have a person to track it, whether it gets chartered, whether the club charters now, or whether it charters as at least be a lead for the next year. The next is the club coach team, which our District Director Praveen Mani also mentioned. Here, there's probably nothing new in the club coach, which is a well-established process. But what happens here is how we implemented this process. We actually identified those clubs with the help of the division directors which need coaching, found out people who are interested who would serve as coaches, did a mapping between these two, and finally had a training session for these club coaches, and then tracked their process. And our club coach chair, distinguished Sundaraman, who also has his roots with Medley Toastmasters. You cannot keep Medlians outside, right? The next team was the member retention team. Remember, it's not the membership retention, it's the member retention. And there we had a good success with our Back to Home campaign, which was a pet project for the district. We wanted to ensure at this particular scenario where it was difficult for people to even
I think we lost the video. Is that true? Am I lost the video of Partha?
Yes.
Okay. Let's continue. I think we'll continue with our next person. Here we have Toastmaster Ram Prasad, a passionate Toastmaster for the past 3 years, past president of Medley Toastmasters, and now serving as area director for Area 3. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Ram Prasad. Toastmaster
Ram is not available in chat room.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think Priya, shall we continue with the interesting
sure.
table topics twist which is planned?
Yeah, definitely. Before that, I would like to ask you one question, Ramesh. If life gives you lemons, what would you do?
Lemon? I will make lemon juice.
You know, what did our TT master answer? He said, if life gives you lemons, you make grape juice. You sit back and watch and let the world wonder how you did it. So it's time for us to welcome the humor champion, DTM Guru Prasad, and he'll be now conducting TTT, table topic with a twist. Over to you, DTM Guru Prasad.
Thank you very much, Priya, and hello, Toastmasters and Medlians. Without searching for nouns, adjectives, adverbs. It's one sentence. I'm very, very happy. I hope you're able to hear me loud and clear. As Aditya, DTM Aditya was explaining about the memories of a typical Toastmasters during such a milestone meeting. Yes, I was walking through such memories of various meetings that happened, various events that happened in those meetings. So I'm really, really, very glad to be a part of the 600th milestone meeting and be playing a role, of course, in the presence of great dignitaries, including our international past president, DTM Deepak Menon, who changed the face of Toastmasters, who created a new way of Toastmastering using virtual meets, proving the perseverance, adaptability, and sustainability of Toastmasters movement. Thank you, sir. I'm really glad to be here. Let us begin the show. Well, how many of you are a bit scared about table topics? Is there any raise of hands? Yeah, I see a lot of raising hands. Don't worry. From here on, you will never be scared or afraid of table topics any longer, because today will be such a deadly day that any other table topics henceforth in your meetings is going to be a cakewalk for you. Enough of this. This is going to be the terrificest table topic session you're going to watch. I'm sure there is no grammarian around to make you just relax and enjoy while the speakers go through my acts. I copied this model from distinguished Toastmaster Nina John when she performed a better version of this during Chennai Toastmasters Club's milestone meeting. I saw that idea very cute and copied it here. It's very simple. The good news is there is no topic for you at all. There are no topics. The bad news is I'll never let you speak one or two sentences incomplete. Let me explain how it goes about. All the speakers will come and start first explaining about how they feel just now, right now. On a Medley 600 meeting, they'll start expressing their emotion or feeling of today. Then I'll interrupt and give them a word. Then they have to catch the word and continue the speech. Then every 10 seconds, at least a minimum of 10 seconds, I'll interrupt them throwing different words. They have to continue their speech using those words as the clue. Do you find it interesting or terrific or threatening? I don't know. Let us see from the speakers we have lined up. We have chosen some dedicated scapegoats for this. I'll invite them one by one. The first TTT speaker would be Toastmaster John Jaikumar. Are you ready? Can we have a double screen with me and John Jaikumar, please?
This video is not on.
Toastmaster John, are you in? I just saw him.
Is there? He needs to unmute himself.
Toastmaster John, you need to unmute yourself.
You might call the next speaker. I'll call John meanwhile.
Yeah. Next speaker is Toastmaster Saravanan. Are you there, Saravanan?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you loud and clear. 1 minute. I have a small issue with my audio system. I'm changing my speakers. Is my voice clear to you?
Yeah, I can.
Saran, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you.
I'm sorry about this. Saranan, can you speak again?
I'm speaking already.
Okay, I have a speaker issue. I solved it. So Saranan, yeah, we are glad to hear about. As I said, it will be a 3-minute session. You will start telling us about your experience on today's meeting. Then I'll keep giving you words. You have to start converting those words into your speech.
Sure.
Please carry on, Saranan.
Yeah,
Actually, I mean, today is a beautiful session and I like very much. So starting from the past international president and what he observed as part of his strategic belief and how he has converted those strategic objectives into what is a business plan, cycle plan, and all.
Miles.
Miles. Yeah, it is always, you have to measure yourself in miles. Okay. Although in India you call it as kilometers, in other countries and all they call it as miles. But miles is more important, as well as milestones are also more important.
Inward.
Yeah, you have to look inward to see like what you really are. At the same time, you have to think about what you have to move towards to a better person.
Sky.
Sky is always very high, but at the same time, what you have to see here is you have to reach at least a tree. Then only you can aim for the sky at least. So aim for the tree first, and then if you aim for the tree, then you can go towards the sky. And
auto rickshaw.
Sorry?
Auto rickshaw.
Auto rickshaw. Auto rickshaw is one of the beautiful things that human has ever invented. This is the three-wheel paradise where you can go to anywhere. And if you are lost somewhere in the street, fly. It is always good because recently I saw that movie Surrai Potru, in which Gopinath has mentioned about what his dreams are, how to fly high, how to reach his milestones. Pedaling. Always you have to pedal yourself so that you can come out of any situation. Whether it is in a boat or in a cycle, you have to be always on your toes because toes are more important. Sorry?
Jogging.
Jogging is also important because when you have to physically tune yourself, you have to jog. But in this marching, you have to always march towards your goal. Because what is more important is you have to start pedaling. You have to start marching at the same time. Sorry? Figure. Yeah, you have to maintain your figure because if you jog well, you can maintain your figure. So what is more important? You have to plan yourself. You have to be physically fit. For that, you have to maintain a proper figure.
Crowbar.
Sorry?
Crowbar.
Crowbar. Yeah. So when you exercise, the crowbar is more important. But what you can see here is a crow is a different one and bar is a different one. But if you see the crow, you cannot reach the bar.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sir. I think you tried your best. But friends, I want you to view. It's not pick the word and give one sentence for my one sentence on my word. I want a coherent speech using all the words. Now, to give a bit of gender diversity, I would like to invite Toastmaster, who is keeping her hand like this and watching the camera, Toastmaster Shyamala. Please unmute yourself. Are you ready?
I guess. Now I'm scared after seeing Sarvanan's performance, but okay, I'll try my best.
Yes, please. Your day today. How do you feel? Start by that.
I am very happy because I've been working all the weekends because now I'm placed in Deloitte and the job is very tough. But right now it's very refreshing to see a set of audience with so much energy. Ice cream. Okay, I feel very nervous because after a long time I'm attending a medley meeting and this is the table topic session. So in that nervousness, I think my go-to food will be ice cream after this meeting because that kind of removes your stress, right? After so much stress, the table topic.
Hot stove.
Oh God, hot stove. Well, that's how I feel like when I'm working in Deloitte. Like that's what I started with, right? That there's so much energy, there's so much pressure on you that sometimes I pedal between a pressure cooker and a hot stove when they put. Sorry?
Kitchen.
Yeah, my mom keeps complaining that because you're working in Deloitte so much, you don't even step into the kitchen and help me. So why don't you like step into the kitchen?
Deficit.
Well, that's the only term I come across in my auditing journey in Deloitte. I've been trying my level best to keep up the momentum of the speech because Boiling. Okay. Boiling.
Sing.
Sing.
S-I-N-G, sing.
there's no time to do anything in my job. So sometimes the only thing which I can do is sing to myself and keep me
Friend.
entertainment, because it's a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends are my go-to whenever I have a bad day, so that I can, obviously complain and tell them about my day.
And thank you very much, Shyamla. Thank you very much, Shyamla. I'm
I
ending this.
know.
I
It was
am
so
thinking
bad.
if
I'm sorry, like.
No, as I said, this is a funny experiment with Toastmasters. Are we ready with table topics, or are we ready for even table words as well? So, do I have Toastmaster John back here, please? Otherwise, I'm going to handpick someone who is looking very calm and quiet. I'm watching all your videos. If you're not very active, I'm going to pick you up. John, I see you there. Can you unmute yourself and come up on video?
John is not available. Can you
Not available.
I see his video. Okay, his photo, not video. So I would like to now invite. Which face do I like most? Any freshers of Medley willing to take my challenge? Any freshers of Medley? Okay, I see my friend Gayatri. Gayatri.
Yeah, Guru.
Please unmute and come on video. I saw you adjusting your headset, so I thought you were getting ready for this. I pulled you.
Yeah.
Okay, we start with you. Please go ahead talking about your day here today.
It's actually very nice to see something positive happening because of the lockdown. I know Medlians are always very energetic and enthusiastic, but especially because you've turned lockdown into something positive, that you're celebrating multiple milestone meeting. It is actually, and we should extend this positivity to the global arena as well. When everybody crips about the pandemic and sees only the flip side of it, I think it's high time that and we should be thankful to the virus at times, just like how we say that life is boring when negative things don't happen. We should also be thankful to this virus. I don't want to equate husband to virus, but the order seems to be that way. So sometimes husbands are the pillar of strength whom we can rely upon, and sometimes they make us the pillar of strength. They really make us the strength we can have. And yeah, relationships always get better when you have a distance, because you start missing people, and then you realize that the distance also helped you understand
peaceful
what you are capable of. And yeah,
peaceful
proper distance with everything, being with the relationship, your profession, your life will actually give you a lot of peace. And that's what I have realized in this pandemic.
Mother-in-law.
Mother-in-laws are always a blessing when you are kept at a distance. It applies for mother-in-laws also.
Bomb.
If you don't maintain the distance, be it with relationship, your career, your husband, your mother-in-law, or even with the virus, you may end up spending a bomb.
Selfish.
It's not selfish to maintain distance. It's about self-care. There's a slight difference between selfishness and self-care. And as long as we maintain the distance between the selfishness and self-care, you can live peacefully together with everybody whom you meet in your life.
Run away.
I don't want to run away from this. It is actually seeming to get in more and more interesting, but the red card definitely says that it's better to run away.
Infinity.
You can run away to infinity, but the timer will not let us do that, Guru. So let's have fun some other time.
Thank you, Gayatri. Wonderful. We really enjoyed. I think you definitely try to link most of the words and try to create a coherent speech. I really liked that focus. Of course, with due respect to others, the first person always is the rat in the lab, so he had to try his best, and you did very well. Thank you very much. I would like to keep this session very short and crisp, just a break from the overall celebrations to give you a moment of laughter and fun. I hope you enjoyed this session. Maybe we'll continue in one of our meetings with the more complex words and phrases sometime. Thanks for this opportunity. Signing off, Medley.
Thank you, thank you. We thoroughly enjoyed it. You didn't give us any time to free ourselves from this twist. Thank you so much, GTM Guru Prasad. It was definitely an entertaining session here. Toastmaster Ramesh, I would like to see that today we are celebrating 600th milestone, right?
Yes.
I feel the present owes so much to the past. And I think it's time we hear from our founders now.
Yes. Next, we have an interesting Q&A session with our founding members. The moderator for the next session is an intellectual and an intellectual property lawyer, past president of Medley, past area director, immediate past chief judge of District 82B. He is none other than our DTM Sunil Jose. Over to you.
Hi, Ramesh, I'm audible?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmasters of the day, my fellow Toastmasters, fellow Midlands, fellow Toastmasters, and all the guests present here. A very warm good afternoon. So I welcome to all of you to this session, Medley and me. My name is Sunil Jose, as Ramesh said, and I will be the moderator of this session for the next half an hour. Now, my dear friends, here's a club which completes 600th meeting in the most spectacular way. And we are really fortunate enough to have the presence of several Toastmasters who are the founder members of this club. So like any places, when you go to a village or your hometown, after you grow up and you started earning, and you will be looking at to see people who are old and then to try to get some information about how the things started in their village. How was the things in that time? So today we are trying to see some information about the beginning of our club 8 years back. So this is a moment of joy. This is a moment of pride and accomplishment for all our founders. This is the height of the leadership skill, their leadership skills. Because a seed they sow in 2008 is a huge tree now. If you take it 1 feet for one meeting, it's almost like 600 feet. So let's hear from them. There are a lot of programs are on the card, so we have only 3 minutes for each speaker. So today I wanted to start with our chartered president, DTM VN Subramanian sir. Unfortunately, and many of you are aware that he was convalescing after a brief illness, and he is unable to be here. We are really sorry about it. But anyway, so let's recognize his role in shaping up the club Medley as it stands today. So let's move on to the next important person in Medley's beginning, Toastmaster Shanti Swaminathan. Madam, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I can hear you, Sunil.
Thank you. Nice to see you again after the last milestone meeting, and we heard a lot from you. She was for the audience information, she was the Chartered Vice President Education of Medley Toastmasters Club. Then those who have been VP Education knows well the big responsibility attached to this role. Today, we don't have to go after speakers or role players, because we have a lot of people, a lot of members who are coming to us to take up the roles. Now, I'm sure that this has been different during that time. Toastmasters Shanti Swaminathan, we would like to hear from you. What was your challenges in finding out and speakers and role players in the beginning term when you were VP Education?
Actually, everything was a challenge for me because the idea of Medley was formed from the Chennai Toastmasters Club, where Neena John, Indra Jairaj, Abraham Zakaria, and many others, Aditya, Shastaram, and many more names. We were all a part of Chennai Toastmasters Club, and then the idea was inculcated that we should have a club in the Adyar area. a public club for everyone, not a corporate one at that time. So that was when the idea came upon, and I live in Velicherry, so we rented the premises of Chennai Business School. And then members, we didn't have members actually to start with. We were only the Chennai Toastmasters people who used to, come in rotation. And one day, Toastmaster Subramaniam stepped in. He brought in tons of experience from the Middle East, where he had been a Toastmaster for almost 3 decades then. I'm talking about the year 2008, 2007 and 8. And then we decided that, okay, let's form a simple committee. Initially, we had only a 3-member committee, and we had VNS and myself, and then Dr. Saurirajan came in. So we had a small committee, and with the help of the members from Chennai Toastmasters, who also had a dual membership just for the sake of building this club. And then we had other members like DTM Jayakar and some more join in. So it was a very tough thing finding the roles. As Aditya had said, we had to don multiple hats. The MC would fall sick, and then, okay, someone else becomes the MC. Everyone, taking up the roles, multiple roles, impromptu. So it was like a table topic session. Sometimes the agenda was planned, but the entire agenda will go for a toss. So it was a table topics with the twist.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that was that was interesting, ma'am. Because I always love to hear what was our past and how did we do that. Thank you for sharing that information with us, and thank you for thanks once again to come and attend our 600th meeting and gracing it. Now I would like to hear from another very active member, DTM Dr. Sambat Saurirajan sir. Now, I don't have to introduce to you, Sambat Saurirajan sir was the Charter VP membership of Medley Toastmasters Club in 2008. He is still very active, and he has a lot of mentors, a lot of mentees, and then for Medley, he's an integral part even today. So my question, before that, I should say, again, I was also a VP membership, so everyone knows how difficult, and we know that, sir, how difficult it is for a new club. The role as a VP membership for a new club, and that too a community club. So my question to you is what was your happiest moment during your term in the the first ExCom in Medley Toastmasters Club?
Good afternoon, Medlians and friends. Happiest moments are many. In fact, I will say every meeting has many happy moments for me. I have still not got tired of attending Toastmaster meetings. Even here or elsewhere, I used to attend a lot of other club meetings also. But in the case of Medley, one of the happy moments in the very beginning is, Madam Shanti will be remembering once in February, she called VNS and myself to her house in Velachery for a sort of emergency meeting because the membership had fallen to coming close to 10. It was 12 or 13 at the time because a lot of initial members have left. And we cooked up some plan, and within 2 months or 2.5 months, by the time of May, I had more than doubled the membership. Of course, I did a lot of tricks. Some of them may work even today, some of them may not work. But adding to my happiness was my association with people. A lot of people miss this point because association with like Toastmaster Shanti Swaminathan, Toastmaster VNS, and many others in the beginning, we had a lot of interesting personalities, various personalities. And some of them had very high level of commitment and sense of purpose. So when you are associated with them, when you work with them, every moment is a joyous moment. And you keep on getting encouraged and enthused by everything you do with such personalities. I've seen many such personalities in many places, but in Medley, I will say these 2 names I already told and a few more names. And some of the other people who have made me happy because I feel that I'm from the prenatal times of Medley, I'm involved. and I'm almost like a foster mother for Medley. So like people like Sandhya Rajaraman, Guru Prasad, and then our Priya now, Shamla, and Dr. Alagappan, some of these people who have hoisted our flag in the contest stages, they all made me happy, certainly. But I would like to add one important idea of happiness I had. When I came back in late 2016, for almost 2 years or slightly more, I was very regular in attending. At the end of every meeting, when people were enjoying their vada, I spoiled their taste by giving my feedback to everyone. I used to give feedback to speakers, evaluators, role players, tag role players, everyone. Some of them, they didn't like it in the beginning. Who is this ombudsman like fellow coming and telling all sorts of things? But then many of them liked also, they came to me by themselves also. So this I feel is a signal contribution I have made to Medley, and that made me very, very happy. Back to you, I am seeing right back to DTM Sunil Jose.
Thank you, DTM Dr. Next question is to DTM Jaikar. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, Sunil.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, DTM Jagar, I mean, I have been a part of many ESCOMs during every renewal cycle. One renewal that was assured was that of DTM Jagar. So, DTM Jagar, even though you could not attend the club meetings regularly, you kept your close relationship with Medley, and you were the first person to renew the Medley membership. I would like to know what is the secret of your affinity to Medley Club all these years, and I'm a direct witness for that.
And good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity and me being here. Well, the affinity to Medley, to be honest, you say that I'm the first member to renew, which is as per your records. But honestly speaking, Medley was my home club. Medley was the first club, and in fact, Toastmaster Shanti Swaminathan was the first person I first met trying to get into Toastmasters. Before that, I was a guest in Wordsmith Toastmasters. I went on 2-3 meetings. It used to meet in Nelson Manikam Road. I'm talking 2007. And due to huge traffics, I decided not to go towards that side. And then we started in Velachery, and that's how I got into Medleys. And I continue to be a member in Medleys. Perhaps, I don't know, I may be the first to renew even now. I don't know the records. It was a good experience. What is important with Medley, and it's 600 today. Honestly, I must give a lot of credit to stalwarts, DTM Nina John, along with DTM Indra Jairaj, DTM Lalita Girita. There were a lot of mentoring, hand-holding was there. That was I must say, that is the main success to Medley today. They did a lot. They used to come and they used to sit. In fact, Toastmaster Shanti Swaminathan rightly said that, from Chennai Toastmasters, it was decided to start a club far away, perhaps very near her house. She was staying in Velachery. We used to meet in her house also. But then, from, there, the Chennai Business School where we started. But we used to have all these people coming and visiting and trying to give us a lot of encouragement and, helping us to grow. It was their efforts, I should also say, which is the main thing that made, this club grow. We were probably the executors, I must say, but they were the strategists. So the strategy came from their side. Even DTM Abraham Zakaria came, they all used to come and watch how we started. We started in a very small way, and then we built members and members. And, now it is a great feeling of satisfaction. Well, I must congratulate Medley for the 600 milestone, and as usual, miles to go before I sleep, or miles to go before I sleep. All the very best to Medley, to all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was really wonderful. And again, we would like.
Yeah, I think Sunil's connection is a little bad, I believe.
No, it has gone out. It's okay.
Till Sunil comes back, may I take over?
Yes, come to give me the opportunity to find the.
He's back. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nina madam.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Hello?
Yes, Sunil, good evening.
Yeah,
Good evening.
okay. Yeah, thank you. Good evening. I just wanted to make sure that, okay. So anyway, you don't need any introduction here. You are the first, I mean, for the new members or for the guests who are new to Toastmasters, she's a past district director, or that time it was called governor. And but for Medley, she has been a part and parcel from the very inception. Medley owes a lot to her for its spectacular growth. Even in the current newsletter, if you look at the page where Toastmaster Shanti Swaminathan is writing, there is a clip, newspaper clip, and those DTM Nina John was sitting in the front row. You can see that yourself. Now, as a leader, my question is my question to you is this: as a leader, you have seen progress the Medley have been making over the years, for sure. I know because you've been part of this and you visited us a lot of time. Now, please tell us how you see Medley's relevance as a community club in the future.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations on reaching this milestone. And I think the one word that I would use to describe Medley's is diversity. Because the absolute range of backgrounds, ages, shapes and sizes, whatever you want to call it, from every single member is so diverse and so varied. That's what adds to the richness of the experience. So when you have prepared speeches with the exact same topic, 3 of your members will give you 3 entirely different perspectives. And that's what, as Sampath, DTM Sampath was saying, when you come to a meeting, those are the moments of enjoyment. You find new perspectives, you find new things, and that's how it grows. In fact, since you're the intellectual property lawyer, may I claim intellectual property for the name Medley's itself? Because when we started, we very imaginatively named the first club as Chennai Toastmasters, then we were running short of names. So I was the one who named Wordsmith as Wordsmiths. And then Medley's is actually an anagram of Smedley, which Medley itself means a variety of tunes and in the musical world. So medley and diversity, very much a part of the very reason why you all exist and thrive and flourish. And I hope you continue doing that forever. Any other questions?
No, I have only one question for you. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's the absolute secret of your success, that it's not a single age group or a single professional group or a single demographic of any kind. Yeah. Because each time I come, I'm always surprised at either the fresh young talent or the surprising growth and transformation of some of the older Toastmasters, because I see them when they come in, and then I see them when they've transformed. And the Medley experience is the catalysis for that growth and that metamorphosis. So keep going, you have the right formula. And for today, it's great to have people like Deepak Menon, who's been there right from the beginning. So welcome again, Deepak, to Medley's. And some of the older people that were there, I would also remember Ravi Bhaskaran and C.T. Thomas. The big joke was when we started new clubs, we would invite members and say, you know, we have a club in Ananagar and we have a club in Velachevi and we have a club in Egmore. Please attend each of these. And these eager new members would come and they'd find exactly the same places, the same faces at all the different places because it was the same group traveling around. So you could meet all of us, whether it was CTM or wordsmiths or medleys. So we started with one great group of evangelists and that's how we continued. So happy to see Medleys has profited from all that. So back to you again, Sunil.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would have loved to ask you more, but due to the time constraints, and Thomas sir is standing there with the stick, so I have to, close it. Okay. Now the last, not the least, because there is a reason for that. My question is to DTM Abraham Zakaria. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, very well. I can see you.
Okay, it was a very nice getup. I don't know whether you made it for just for the 600 meeting, and it looks nice. Okay, now he was the club sponsor that time, if I remember correctly, for Middle East club sponsor, and I was not surprised for that role because I just remember one thing. When I was back to Kerala from Chennai once, and I met him in an airport in Kochi. While we was coming out of the airport, I just asked him one thing, sir. I am here for a week time, so I just want to attend a few, one or two clubs. Okay. Now he said, okay, I will do, and then he walked away. I was just wondering why he walked away, and then, believe me, half an hour from that place to my home, I received a phone call from at least 4 people. It's like a marketing technique. Like 4 people calling. Abrahams are referred you to us, and we are meeting Kochi, we are meeting Kottayam, we are meeting Toronto. My goodness, sir, I am not surprised that you are that the job of club sponsor is very tough and difficult, but I'm not surprised right now. So you've been a well-wisher throughout the growth of Medley and supported us enormously. My question to you is, which I know you very well. So how did your diplomacy and your persuasive skills come in handy in shaping Medley and stabilizing it in the beginning period? We want to hear from you.
Well, you love something, you are passionate something because you benefited from that. So I always say, if I write an autobiography, you have 2 parts. One is after Toastmasters and before Toastmasters. That kind of passion or commitment or gratitude I have for Toastmasters. So wherever I go, I want to tell them about Toastmasters. So even if I go to any place, you name any place, I go there, I see that there's a club there and I attend it. My wife would be definitely saying something about that. Why all the way you have to come here to attend Toastmasters. The point is that I love so much. So I thought, let me share it. I have to share it with another person. That is the purpose of life. That's what I see.
So you want to share with us some other secret, something which you want to hear? I mean,
Joe's no secret as such. When you are passionate about something, you want to tell some. Even if you have a girlfriend, you will love to tell others that I have a girlfriend and she is my girlfriend, and you want to show them that she is my girlfriend. I take her out for dinner or movie or whatever. It's same thing. To me, it is the kind of passion that I have. So because I was benefited so much, I am what I am because I am at Toastmasters. That my, I must say, my icebreaker speeches. So that kind of passion. So it'll come naturally. Wherever I happen to meet somebody, and maybe in small talk, there is a manual. In that, in third sentence or something, I'll ask them, have you heard about Toastmasters? Someone would say yes, somebody would say no. But the person who's got any interest, I will try to share him this. Because that is how I've benefited a lot. But for that, I would not become a teacher. All these are all because Toastmasters has given me the chance to stand up and address the people. So I'm benefited that. So which I want to share it with others. And whoever I have recommended, not all, but they are all very happy. That's why I could set up 3-4 clubs, even North Chennai club. All these are, so they're all very happy about it.
Yeah, right.
So here I want to say one thing. Shanti Swaminathan's speech was, I believe it was first time media covered the Medley Toastmasters news item. And there she was offering a toast. That was also, I still remember, it was there. It was a big thing for us because first time we are seeing in the print media about Toastmasters.
Okay.
And another thing is that Matilda Pinda, then Pindo, then division governor, she came all the way from Mangalore to attend the meeting of Medley Toastmasters. Now, these are all milestone, I must say.
Okay.
So, thank you so much. All the very best.
Thank you. Thank you for now. With this, I'm concluding this, but I would like to thank all of you for coming and attending this meeting and ready to share your moments, memory and moments with us. This is a great lesson for us. Any memory from you is a leadership lesson for us. So thank you for all the leaders again for sharing your wisdom, the knowledge and experience with us. It will take Medley to new heights, much to your satisfaction. I am sure about it. And with this, let me conclude this and giving back the control to Toastmasters of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sunil. Thank you, dear founders, for sharing your love and feeling for Medley, 12-year-old child Medley. Priya, what is your feel?
Yes, absolutely. Now, moving from past to present, it's time for me to introduce our next program. I shall be as brief as possible, no matter how long it takes. Can someone explain what is this certified Toastmasters now?
Yes, Priya. I'm going to request now Raghu to share the screen and then play the video. There are some technical glitches in sharing the screen and then showing the video. Let's try, and I'm requesting now Raghu to share the video and play the video, and you will be able to understand more on the certified Toastmasters.
Yes.
I think, yeah, Raghu is able to do it. Excellent. Audio, Raghu.
Our TT Master for today. He's a certified Toastmaster, certified to be Subhash Shankar. I welcome you. A few words about Subhash Shankar. His ideas are so funny and innovative that when he starts those ideas within the club, the international president himself gets impressed and he takes it from the club and he uses it for international purposes. And there is one more thing to know. He is very good at escaping table topics, but he is very good at giving topics. And now I would like to call him. And no, wait, one more thing. He also either takes the help of Google and survives his table topics if at all he has no other chance of escape. So now I would like to call TT Master Subhash Shankar to carry on with the session. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amita, for your warm introduction. So I think you had said a wonderful introduction about me as well as about my table topic. So I don't want to give anything about the table topic. Let me jump on the topic. The first speaker of today would be Rambo Ranga. Rambo Ranga?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Rambo, I know that you are always very sharp on your grammar part, especially when it comes to English. So I'm giving this longest word in English. The word is...
Thank you, TT Master, for giving me the longest word in the English dictionary and asking me for its meaning. I've heard about tongue twisters, but this is certainly a brain twister. When I was much younger, the longest word in the English dictionary was floxia, noxia, nihili, pilification. But this one beats it by more than a yard. I will try to roll this word around my tongue and see whether I get it. New, mono, ultra, microscopic, volcano, coniosis. Ha! I got it.
The next speaker, we do have Smart Surya. Smart Surya?
Yes, I am.
Smart Surya, whenever I see you, even for any trouble comes to me, it is always going out of the trouble. So the topic for you is don't trouble the trouble until they double the trouble with you. Smart Surya.
Dear friends, all of you like dogs, right? They're so cute and adorable. They wag their tail and play with us all day long. But I hate dogs because they bark at me. The relationship between me and dog is like Tom and Jerry. Whenever I see a dog with group of my friends, I start pelting stones on it. I chase, they run. But the same dog, when it looks at me with their group of friends, they chase, I run. Dear friends, when you are troubling the trouble doubles back and troubles you. But my case is different with this trouble, right? Because of this trouble, I become a marathon runner. Believe me, even if today a dog chases, I can run up to 20 kilometers and escape from it.
The next speaker would be, it is directly coming from Singapore to give this table topic. Singapore Sambat.
Yes, I am here. Thank you.
Okay, Singapore Sambat. Your topic will be, I'm going to show you a picture, okay, which have the year. You need to talk about the year, about you, what happened, or history, what happened in the particular year.
Wow. Year 2008. Two funniest incidents happened in my life. The first one, I traveled to United States. You cannot believe, right? I also cannot believe. Very first time traveling the flight, that too international. Don't imagine how I should have behaved with the air hostess, because the flight was Air India. I stayed there 8 months almost in United States. Being a first time visitor, I almost enjoyed as much as possible. ஊரை சுற்றி பார்க்குறத சொன்னாங்க, நீங்கள் வேறு எதாவது நினச்சிக்காதீங்க. When I came back to my home, my village, my happiness was in the peak level. But after 2 weeks, கடவுள் வச்சாம் பார் ஆப்பு. வேற என்ன, மேரேஜ் தான். After that, I never crossed the Asian border until now.
For those of you who know me, I'm Pavitra Sridhar. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm still Pavitra Sridhar. I've been with Medley for quite some time. I'm sure you all know me very well. I'm so approachable that I will reply on WhatsApp within 60 seconds. When it comes to Ulaganayak and Pranav, he's traveling most of the time. We don't even know if we'll get a reply on WhatsApp or even a phone call within half a day or a day as well. Getting speech slots in Medley is so difficult. It's tougher than getting a first day first show ticket at a Rajnikant movie. But if I am elected, trust me, I will give you more speech slots because there will be meetings not just on Saturdays, but on weekdays as well. In the last term, our Ulaganayak and Pranav, we all know how wonderfully he managed as a secretary. For all of us, MOM means minutes of the meeting. But for our beloved secretary, ex-secretary Pranav, I think it means minutes of the month. After all the meetings in the month, he used to submit the minutes of the meeting in the next month. So we all know how responsive and responsible he is. I rest my case here and I leave the decision to you guys. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I am Pranav and I have been in the club for quite a long time and I don't need any introduction. I assure you, I can be more responsive than my fellow opponent, Hyphon Pavitra. Now regarding speech slots, oh, what an excellent idea she said. You want to have meetings on weekdays apart from weekends? Online meetings that too? I don't think she's serious. Guys, but understand, she's indirectly imposing our family members to join Medley. This is too funny. See guys, Medley has its own reputations on quality. And what does she know about the process in Medley? Huh? She hardly has any experience. It's very easy to comment on MOM. You know how many multiple reviews it goes? Now I rest my case and I leave it to all my fellow Medlians to take a decision on this. Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome on board, guys. So let's keep Medley climbing.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Amita.
Good morning, Pranav.
Hey, good morning, Shankar. Where is the Sergeant at Arms? Ramesh, isn't he supposed to start the meeting, guys? Or is he planning to come only after everything gets over? Seriously? Okay, Sharanya, the treasurer, where are you? No sign of her. Okay, let's get started then. Amita, could you please share the minutes of meeting after everything is done, please?
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll give you a detailed report by the end of the meeting.
Hi Pranav, hi VPPR, hi Amita, good morning, good morning, good morning all.
Enama, internet connection slow.
Yes Pranav, little bit.
Internet connection mattum slow. You're joining the meeting late. Adikku mela, for a good morning also you're giving late reaction, Sharanya. Shankar, what's the update from the VPPR team regarding the XCOM clear, please?
Pranav, I will send across very shortly, Pranav.
Very shortly, you have been using these two words for the past 2 weeks, Shankar.
This time, Pranav, I will say.
Hello?
Mark my words.
Yada.
Hey,
thank you. I'm new surgery at Arms in Toastmasters. I got promoted. I got promoted. Yeah. I'll give treat everyone. 100 rupees in Taj Government Hotel. 100 rupees. One meeting. I'll just come.
Can you please turn on your video for quick's sake? Ramesh Rajendran, are you there?
Vanakkam Pranav Tala. Hi Shankar boss. Hi Amita dude. Hi Sharanya dude. Hi. Hi, what's up?
Dude, bro, boss, what's up?
What's up? How's everything going? Yo.
Everything was going well till you came. What is this bro, dude and all? Are you with your friends? This is a Toastmasters forum, Ramesh. Please be serious.
Sarah Pranav. We'll take care.
Sarah Pranav. Okay. Let's move on. Sharanya, I would like you to give your treasurer's report, please. You're not in a party, you're in a serious XCOM meeting. Ramesh, can you do can you please mute her, please?
Yeah, I'll mute.
Sharanya, I'm talking to you. What world are you in? Can you, Madam Treasurer, should I call you like that? Can you please present your report? Sharanya, okay, let's go ahead. Amita, please read out the minutes of meeting for me.
Yes, sir. The whole meeting took 35 minutes. The president took 20 minutes. The sergeant at arms took 5 minutes. Treasurer took 5 minutes. And
my God, I asked you to read the minutes of meeting.
What happened, sir? That's what I read, sir. Minutes of the meeting.
Pranav, you did not call me, Pranav. I'm supposed to submit my accounts today.
I called you 100 times, but you were busy in some other world.
Let me share my accounts. Where did I throw it? Is it in the recycle bin? Okay. The meeting was awesome. Great meeting. Well done. Well done, guys.
Thank you so much, guys, for that meeting. Thank you, everyone.
These guys can't even pass. How can they be even certified?
I would like to introduce our teacher.
Thank you, Raghu. I think you are repeating once more now. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. I can't believe this. I think today I have seen the true color of every Medlian. They showed their true color. Ramesh, I'm still upset with you. I need to win that spin game. Can you please spin one more time and see?
Yeah, sure. Let's check your luck. May I request Shankar to spin the wheel one more?
Yeah. Do you able to see my screen?
Yes. Congratulations.
What's happening, Ramesh? Where's my name?
No issues. I think you can just log into this Picker Wheeler website and just enter your name. All the time you'll be the winner. Don't worry.
I didn't like that. I think it's time for us to know what our Medlians love the most through this voice of media again.
Let's hear from two more videos. I think I would request now Raghu to play the media voices of Medlians 2 and 3 together, please.
Okay.
Thank you. We are able to see Raghu. Yeah, good.
Medley has been growing steadily and strongly. And Medley has crossed many milestones, and till now, till recently, it is one of the top clubs in Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka, now in District 120. My greetings to all Medlians and my best wishes to Medley in future too.
It's been close to 1 year and I think 4 months since I joined Medley Toast.
Raghu, I think we lost your audio. Raghu? I think you are on mute, Raghu.
Simple Urchavar Urolams. What will happen is the god will be put on to one particular pedestal, and then people will carry, dance, sing, rejoice, taking the god street over streets. That is what exactly happened to me in every role I signed, every role I played, everything I did with respect to Toastmasters. Medlians carried me, praised me, rejoiced with me, danced with me, helped me grow where I am today. I'll be sailing, going with Medley in all the future milestones.
Congratulations, Medley, for achieving a staggering feat of 600 meeting milestone. After attending Toastmaster sessions in various avenues, I have decided to enroll in Medley for a couple of reasons. One, the commitment which I have seen here in this fraternity is astounding. The other reason is the compassion that Medlians have shown to the fellow club members. I'm really proud to be a Medlian.
The 6th century, 6 centuries of meetings and the event on 600th milestone. Really a great moment for a club like Medley. All the best. Stay with the surprise.
I got a new friends, better mentor and a Toastmaster, me a better human being. I'm glad to be a part of such a amazing learning and leadership communities called Medley Toastmaster.
I think that is the meeting number 572. It was outside. Professor Thomas called me over phone and he was asking me that, where did you think it? I said, I am outside, I'll be there. Within 5 minutes, I'll attend the meeting. That time, Guru Prasad Bhusmaman was my table topic master. In that session, I got a best table topic speaker. That is a nostalgia moment for me.
People in the club, that is the main reason. The way they interact and the way they conduct the meeting, that is the main reason that made me join Medley Toastmaster Club.
I first visited Medley as a guest on April 21st, 2018. At that point in time, I had no idea that I would become a member. Every Saturday, I would attend meetings. And then I realized that I would like to give a full-length speech. I had been given a taste of giving speeches during the table topic session. So in August 2018, I became a member. And I'm really happy now because I've made so many friends and I've come a long way. actually finished a path this year in March.
It's very structured and organized meetings which started and ended on time. The very warm and friendly Toastmasters that I saw, it resonated to the Toastmaster fraternity that I knew for last 2 decades. And of course, the conversation that we had during the chai and samosa time, which I miss in these online meetings.
I've admired Medley's personality. It is active, highly competitive. The meetings are organized in a well-structured way. And Medleyans, they just rock any contest they participate. I feel proud to be part of such a
Rahu, we lost your. Yeah, okay.
I wish Medley all the very best when she's going to her 600th meeting.
600th meeting. What a milestone. Medley has definitely played a huge and an important role in the journey of my life. If there is one thing which made me to be a part of Medley, and which still makes me to be a part of Medley, is nothing but the warmth of its people, the true affection, the dedication, and the most importantly, the intention to help and support others. Just mind-boggling.
Speechcraft is a session which introduced me to Medley. Within the first 2 sessions, I have realized one thing. Rain or shine, Medley starts on time. With that in the back of my mind, I have attended few of the sessions as a guest. Later I realized it is not just about punctuality, but Medley also practices Toastmasters by book. These are the 2 qualities which made me. Now Medley is my second family.
When I first joined, I was just a student who just dreamed of being a good public speaker, a leader. Thanks to Medley, in the 1 year I spent with this club, I am so happy to say that I've grown so much as a person, a speaker, and a leader. This is a place, the safest place I can say, where even when you fail, you become a better person each time you come out of it.
In April 2018, I was looking for a job in my field. You don't believe me, I attended 30 companies and they kicked me out at the first round. How fortunate I was, I told to myself. I didn't know where I would make a mistake, but one thing was very sure for me. I was incoherent at the interviews. One day, I stumbled upon a Toastmasters in a LinkedIn and find out the nearest branch in my areas. I attended a few meetings in a Medley Toastmasters club, and which really pushed me up and gave me a positive approach at the public speakings. Way to go, Medley.
When I visited for the first time with Medley, the person was performing the role of TMOD. I was so amazed about his performance. Clarity, style on the speech, quiz, suspense, thrill, and transition from one speaker to another. It was a mesmerizing performance. And those 2 hours, it just went for a few minutes. And at the time itself, I decided to join in Medley. I know you're all keenly to understand who the person would be. It is none other than our Toastmaster, Krishna Kishore.
On the eve of Medley's hitting the 600th meeting milestone, I take this time to wish and congratulate all the past and the present members who have put in their time, effort and hard work to make Medley's the club it is today.
I feel nervous during every single speech when I deliver it in front of few people. Why? Because it's not because of the reason that I'm not prepared well. It's because of the reason that what kind of a value addition that I'm going to make to the listeners of my speech. That always keeps me going. With that, I would like to congratulate Medley Toastmasters for achieving that 600th milestone.
That was the first day when I visited Medley. Someone was calling me, Mr. Prasad, come and join me for snacks. I was wondering, who is calling me Prasad here? Only my family members used to call me Prasad. Mr. DTM Guru Prasad was calling me for snacks. Medley made me feel home. Till the date, I am continuing as a member of Medley. The reason behind is Medley always make me feel at home.
I have been with Toastmasters for more than a decade. Toastmasters provides me a wonderful platform to improve my communication and leadership skills. Especially Medley Toastmasters Club provides me an immense opportunity to unleash my hidden potential. I'm glad to be part of Medley's 600th milestone meeting and celebration. Keep smiling, keep climbing. I love Medley Toastmasters Club.
Medley doesn't wait for milestones to come to it. Medley goes and grabs them. That's why the 600, thanks to the energy and the enthusiasm of the members, if 600 comes, can 700 be far behind? 800, 900, 1000? Medley, keep walking, keep climbing. All the best.
Thank you so much, Raghu. I think our plan B really worked out because of you. Thank you so much for that. Medlians, it's a great moment. I think let's have a big round of applause for ourselves. So if you have missed in any of the testimonial video which we played today, there is one more opportunity for you. Please do share your videos and providing your experience by attending this today's Medley 600th meeting and share your experience in this session. So we will come over to the post-event edition. Now, time has come with a great ending now. I would like to invite our Toastmaster DTM president. If someone had worked as meticulously on me as he did, I would have become by this time a president of America. And Priya, by the way, you would have become a vice president by then now.
Wow, definitely.
So such a meticulous and a very minute detail of planning. Wow, what a great experience. Really, really, Toastmasters fraternity is gifted for this. Please join me in inviting our beloved President DTM Thomas.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, the TMODs. Before I go into the pleasant task of thanking a lot of people, allow me to make a couple of statements. One, the testimonials of the 34 Medleyans. Friends, it's truly humbling to hear what Medley means to Medleyans. It multiplies the responsibility for all of us who have something to do with it, especially the seniors. Thank you for this moment of truth. We take it very seriously. Secondly, the problem with Zoom meeting, apart from disruptions, and I'm sorry that we would have a slightly delayed arrival, though our departure was on the dot. The problem is that Zoom doesn't allow us to keep any secrets, including how XCOM meetings are conducted. Well, that's the way it is. Lots of secrets will tumble out meanwhile. Now back to the pleasant task. First of all, thank you TMODs for threading this event, complex event, so very well. Congratulations. And thank you to DTM Deepak Menon, not just for your words, but for showing us what true commitment and finesse in evolved leadership means. Friends, if you look up, you will see DTM Deepak Menon was ahead of most of us. He arrived and he is still there. The immediate past international president of Toastmaster International. Please, these are visible, visual, live lessons for us to be inspired by. Thank you very much, sir, and also for showing the calmness of leadership when there is turmoil above in the sky. Great learning. And as for DTM Aditya Maheshwaran, he wasn't keeping well, but he kept his word. He showed every wannabe speech contestant, and all of us are that, aren't we? Secretly. What an impeccable demonstration of how to do a keynote. Making sense out of a simple word like P 5 times. Friends, these are great lessons. And to the district trio, represented by Toastmaster Pradeep Mani and DTM Parthasarathi, thank you very much. Despite the tyranny of the timer, you delivered so much good news about the new district. You truly are the inspiring young leadership for a young district. Thank you, Area Director and our own Toastmaster Ram Prasad. I believe you were in transit, but you still managed to deliver your message. And thank you, the fantastic founders. I mean every word of what I'm going to say. Without you, there is no reason for celebration. Literally, look back at it. And without you, no celebration is possible. Thank you very, very much. This is the love and affection you have for your 12-year-old child. Continue with it. Keep coming. Thank you very, very much. Now, may I? We have another meeting in town. Our big brother, Wordsmiths, is celebrating their 600th birthday. So it's like big brother, small brother, both in the same class. We have caught up with them. Let's not be vain and proud, but let's feel good about it. Because of which, a lot of our respected guests have had to divide their affection between the two clubs. So many of them have left. Nevertheless, do we have Toastmaster Ashok Kumar, the former divisional director? I know it's tough. Do we have Toastmaster Marilyn?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Any Medlian, any guest who was not heard today, whose voice we didn't hear today, could you please unmute and be asked to be unmuted and tell us what you found about today?
Good evening, Thomas, sir.
Hello. Yeah. Go ahead. Shoot.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Probably not a guest, not a Medlian. Probably I could term myself as an ex-Medlian, but I always call Medley as my first family. After like being a part of Toastmasters, this is my first club, and I really miss Medley. But it's a word that wherever we go, wherever we travel, we always feel that there's some kind of thing that is lacking in another places where I go. But that it's kind of experience when I go for other meetings in different clubs. But I always tell Thomas sir that nothing can match Medley's standard, nothing can match Medley's meticulousness, and that's what made me come after like one milestone. This is the second milestone. Literally, I have 25 meetings gap. I'm back here. It's really good to be back, and I really want to come again continuously. That's
Thank you very, very much. So happy to see you. So happy to listen to you. You were the life. You gave life, friends. If you remember, Varshini gave life to our last milestone meeting. Thank you very much, Varshini. Good to hear. Please come more often. Don't wait for milestones. One more voice? We have time. Though we are a little late, it's fair that we give an opportunity to one more person. Anyone? It could even be a Medlian. But quick few words. Otherwise, I will move on. No issue. So here is thanking all our guests, Toastmasters and future Toastmasters, for counting Medley meetings worth a visit. We were at one stage 73. We have now fallen. Lots of human time and energy and thought, and the exchange of lakhs of words wove this mega online show between the volunteers. I must thank the XCOM, and no empty words here, honest words from my heart. I must thank the XCOM for their full support and advice. Thank you, Regu, for your advice and for being a dispassionate sounding board. Very important when you are organizing an event. And for sheer load, I must in particular mention VPPR Narasimhan for Medley matters that he brought out on time when he is fighting a war in his office, I know, and for creating the event publicity through a series of flyers along with his VPPR team. And we got on board Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan early as an event chair, and that enabled us to have a lot of interactions. He took on the editing of this moving editing of these testimonies of Medlians that capture the normally hidden emotions and incidents. Ramesh headed a team that you saw, added a lot of vibrance with the music and the humor that they brought in. So we also discovered a future president for Medley. You saw the booted, suited young man. So that's a hope for Medley for future. Dear role players, you were fantastic. Starting with the TMODs for holding together with grace and style and aplomb. Such a rich and varied fare. as today's. This is the set of role players who I have to thank. I must go beyond role play and also say, Guru Prasad ji and Sunil, you as always, senior, experienced, skilled Toastmasters, leave behind your imprint on the event. And I must particularly thank DTM Sugandhi Periswamy and to Toastmaster Kalyan for all their crucial advice. There are sensitivities to sentiments, to a lot of things which are not logical, but you helped me through and you took my late night calls when I was in doubt. Thank you very, very much. I truly appreciate it. It is not mathematical, but the value you brought into this event is tremendous. So take a bow. Secondly, the young group, the future medley that proves that medley has talent. Thank you, Ramesh, for bringing together that big, large bunch of people. They are the future of medley. So medley is in safe hands. And all in all, let me say, what a meeting. Oh, what a meeting. I'm so glad it's recorded so that I don't have to pinch myself to say, hey, it's real. And I'm not dreaming. Thank you very much, one and all, for who made this possible, made Medley 600 memorable. Medley 600 memorable. It's given, it is given there by fate. Thank you very much. I now declare this historic meeting number 600 closed. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.